Wave 6 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass is finally here, which means that every track in the Booster Course Pass has been revealed and is playable for all of us to enjoy. But it also means that it's time to rank all of the tracks in the DLC. In this list we will find out which waves are the best, which games got treated the best, and most importantly, which remakes are the best of them all. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel as well as leaving a like on the video, and let me know in the comments what your favorite Booster Course Pass tracks are, as well as your rankings if you so desire. Anyways, let's get into my ranking of the Booster Course Pass from worst to best. Number 48, 3DS Toad Circuit. I'm sure this surprised literally none of you. This track right here is the reason why this DLC got so much hate from fans at first. It's not a very good track, they did nothing to make it better, and it looks disgusting. I do enjoy the music and track layout though, despite its flaws. Number 47, Tour Tokyo Blur. The only thing that is blurred here is the excitement, because I surely can't see anything to get hyped about. Immediately, Wave 1 is taking back-to-back hits, with this one not being the greatest track either. For me, Tokyo Blur doesn't really offer much on any side of the spectrum. The other tour tracks do what this track tries to do at a much higher level. Number 46, SNES Mario Circuit 3. Because screw Mario Circuit 4, let's just do 3 for the 15th time. And this remake is pretty bad as well. The track itself has been upscaled, which makes shortcuts less fun, and that one turn just doesn't work. Number 45, GBA Sunset Wilds. It gets said so often, but why would you not add the sun getting lower each lap? The rest of the track is good, but it feels like this track's identity has been stolen. Number 44, GBA Sky Garden. Sky Garden on the GBA and DS were super fun tracks that felt magical, and that was ripped away with this remake. The track doesn't have the same good feeling, it's missing the great shortcuts, and the layout was simply made worse. On top of this, the brick road doesn't complement the pretty colors this track once had. Number 43, GBA Boo Lake. For whatever reason, this version of Boo Lake seems very mid. It's got ramps in an underwater section, however that's really it. At least there's an actual lake this time. Number 42, DS Mario Circuit. To those of you that really like this track, I'm sorry. DS Mario Circuit as a whole has never been a favorite of mine, and this remake doesn't change much. I do enjoy the piranhas being more of a threat, the new forest section, and the Wiggler jump scare on the third lap, but like I said, still mediocre in my opinion. Number 41, Tour New York Minute. For a previous starter track, New York Minute ain't too bad. The city feeling and diversity in each lap are the best parts of it. However, there isn't much to say about it beyond that. Number 40, Tour Paris Promenade. Yes, I'm American and I'm not sorry. Anyways, I've always thought that Paris Promenade was a very underrated tour track, and that idea carries over to this list. The turns feel good, I like the split paths, and the glide towards the Eiffel Tower is super satisfying. Number 39, Tour Amsterdam Drift. Amsterdam Drift has never appealed to me as a track. However, I have nothing against it. The underwater portions are kinda cool with the bubble ramps, and the garden section is pretty, but in terms of gameplay, it's a bit lacking. Number 38, Wii Daisy Circuit. And here we have our first Wave 6 track of the list. Always a controversial take, but I fail to enjoy Daisy Circuit, and this remake does try to help that, however it isn't enough to cause major change. The music is great and there are some new boosters and ramps. Number 37, GBA Riverside Park. When I saw this track coming to Wave 4, I was so excited because it was one of my favorites from Super Circuit. However, what we got was a bit disappointing. I wish they made it more of a pretty jungle oasis instead of a mangrove swamp that reminds me of the horrid smell and bugs you experience in them. Number 36, Sky High Sundae. A lot of people dislike this track and think it's overhyped, mostly because of, well, reasons. And while it isn't the best, I still like it a decent bit. I do enjoy the dessert theme, and I like the floaty feeling combined with its uniqueness. Number 35, Tour London Loop. We are getting into the tour section of this ranking now, and it's not that the tracks are bad by any means. They would be at the bottom if they were, but these 6 in particular are kind of the same in my opinion, with different landmarks as the focus. London Loop features a bunch of chain chomps, which can spice up the track on top of other things, but it's the least interesting out of this group. Number 34, Tour Athens Dash. This track is pretty decent, however the layout and turns are very confusing. It almost gives you too much room to the point where you can make a wrong turn very easily. That along with the skinny and janky ending to the track drag it down. Number 33, Tour Madrid Drive. Madrid Drive is pretty simple and doesn't have too much to write home about. The soccer field and art museum are pretty fun sections however. Number 32, Tour Berlin Byways. Berlin Byways has a lot more repetition than other tour tracks, so it's a good thing that the first 2 laps are at least somewhat interesting. This city track takes on the form of a traffic track with lots of vehicles for you to avoid. The third lap deviates a lot from the rest though, even featuring a womp section. Number 31, Tour Bangkok Rush. I never expected a tour track of all things to get downgraded in the Booster Course Pass, but here we are. You still have a fun section with the boats and trekking section near the end, but everything in between is not as fun. Plus, they negated the Piranha plants so they don't do anything. Number 30, Tour Piranha Plant Cove. It's hard to rank this track because you don't see too much like it. It's primarily an underwater track with some interesting land and air parts thrown in between. Piranha Plant Cove is pretty interesting and unique, but it certainly did not blow me away. Number 29, Tour Ninja Hideway. My feelings on this track pretty much change on the daily. One day I can't stand it, and the next I think it's pretty okay. This is a good middle ground for it on this list though. It is certainly a unique track, which gives it some bonus points, however the turns don't really work for me, and it's a bit janky. Number 28, Tour LA Laps. Out of this little cluster of tour tracks, LA Laps is the best of them all. It features real diversity in each lap, with the beach section with the pier, intersection with the baseball stadium, and the oil field section on the last lap. Number 27, 3DS Rosalina's Ice World. Rosalina's Ice World of all things is a pretty controversial track to talk about, however this placement is what I will be going with at the end of the day. In terms of new additions, there are half pipes scattered around the area and a new mushroom shortcut at the end. Number 26, N64 Choco Mountain. I really like this version of Choco Mountain. The atmosphere is similar enough to the original, but with some really good added touches. First off, the music is incredible. It gives off the same vibes as usual, but with a more funky tone. I also really enjoyed the cave section. It always felt so sad that the tunnel was so short on the N64 and DS. Number 25, Wii Coconut Mall. I am aware that this one is a fan favorite, however the more I played this version, the less I enjoy it. They tried to fix something that wasn't broken. The escalators aren't escalators anymore, but they are arrow platforms that shoot you right into a wall if you trick on them. Also, I hate to beat a dead horse here, but the cars, people. The cars were fine, and then they made them do donuts after making them stationary in Wave 1. Obviously the track is still fun, however it's significantly worse than before. Number 24, GBA Snowland. I have good news and bad news. The good news is that GBA Snowland is the best GBA remake of the Booster Course Pass. The bad news, it's because the rest of them are trash. However, I love that this track got such a good remake that showcased pretty visuals, fun turns, and most importantly, banger music. They even added a cool cut-through shortcut to the mix as well. Number 23, 3DS Rock Mountain. This one in particular got a major downgrade from the original for some reason. For the most part, it's normal with the massive amounts of gliding, the tunnel at the beginning, and the rocks at the end. However, the colors are certainly a downgrade as well as the track feeling very slow at times. Number 22, Tour Merry Mountain. Like with many snow tracks, the atmosphere for Merry Mountain is amazing. It makes racing really entertaining. The train going around the track on top of the other background elements are an added bonus. This course also has the same problem as Rock Mountain though, with it being dragged out at the end if you aren't playing 200cc. Number 21, Tour Sydney Sprint. Whether you're into tour tracks or not, you have to admit that Sydney Sprint holds one of the best songs in Mario Kart. And the track itself ain't too bad either. You can see the landmarks of Sydney, Australia, in what fittingly feels like a sprint for the finish line. Number 20, Tour Rome Avanti. Italians, please don't be upset for my pronunciation, the French are already after me. Jokes aside, this is probably the best looking tour track of the Booster Course Pass. Not only that, but the fact that you can scale the Colosseum and roam the streets during the race is pretty neat. Number 19, DS Shroom Ridge. I never knew why I loved Shroom Ridge so much as a kid, but this remake recreates those same feelings while being different at the same time. The vehicles work really well, being a challenge but not too obtrusive. Meanwhile, the new shortcuts are a great added touch. Number 18, Wii Moonview Highway. I am aware that this was in last place for Wave 5 last time, but that wasn't a serious placement. Even if this version is a total joke, and not a funny one, compared to Wii, that doesn't make it bad. In fact, it's still pretty good. The music slaps as usual, and the bomb cars are still menacing, even if they are slow. Number 17, Wii Koopa Cape. Wii tracks were done pretty dirty in Wave 5, however this one had already been nerfed in Mario Kart 7 and Tour. Not only is the gameplay a serious downgrade, but the pipe got massacred, literally. The roof has opened up to make it an underwater section, however this gets rid of the stream of water and the turbines as well. At least we got the half pipes back. Number 16, GCN Daisy Cruiser. I don't adore Daisy Cruiser to the degree that others do, but I still certainly enjoy it. The soothing music, the swimming pool, the alternate route that is now flooded, and the cruise vibe. Number 15, SNES Bowser's Castle 3. Alright everyone, document this moment. Make sure you all note that an SNES track made the top 15 of a list consisting of more than 30 tracks. Now this may seem way overrated to a lot of y'all, however I simply enjoy Bowser's Castle tracks more than any other, and for this one they gave me all I asked for in a remake. The visuals, theming, music, and gameplay itself were spot on. Number 14, Wii DK Summit. I wasn't really expecting this to be as good as it was, but DK Summit didn't plummet too much here. The half pipes work surprisingly well, and the shortcuts are still possible, so there you go. Number 13, N64 Calamari Desert. I absolutely love what they did with this remake. Usually it's not a good thing when they port the tour version of a fan favorite track, but for Calamari Desert it's the best thing that could have happened. You have all the new shortcuts in addition to the track changing every lap, and even sending you through the tunnel where the train awaits you. Number 12, Squeaky Clean Sprint. The best part about the new tracks on the Booster Course Pass is that you experience something new with each one. For Squeaky Clean Sprint, you dive into a bathtub, go through the drain, and then glide over a toilet that needs some serious help. There's also plenty of shortcuts to this course as well. Number 11, GCN Waluigi Stadium. You could tell here that they really want to make it up to GameCube fans with this one. Not only are the visuals amazing for Booster Course Pass standards, but they created new shortcuts, made the baby ramps triggable instead of annoying, and even added some platforms to the end to give you more options in terms of paths. Number 10, DS Peach Gardens. I'm not gonna lie, this is by far the best version of Peach Gardens we have ever seen. Not only did they add trickable sections to make it more interesting gameplay wise and use great color overall, but they also flipped the last lap to make it reverse, just like that nostalgic mission in Mario Kart DS. Surprisingly, one of my favorites from the Booster Course Pass. Number 9, Tour Singapore Speedway. Singapore Speedway is regarded by many as the best tour track, and while I disagree, it gets a very deserving second place. This track is not just a tour, it's a whole darn journey. From up in the sky to down in the marketplaces and everything in between, you will visit all of Singapore in a matter of 2 to 3 minutes. Number 8, Tour Vancouver Velocity. This is, in my opinion, the best tour track, and it carries over just fine to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Between the bridge section, the skating rink, and the vibes, there is a lot to like about Vancouver Velocity. Number 7, Wii Maple Treeway. I mean, it's Maple Treeway. Despite the colors being less pretty than the original in my opinion, they haven't changed much in terms of gameplay from Mario Kart 7, besides the half pipe of course. Number 6, Yoshi's Island. I love this track so much. Making a Mario Kart track to reference a game inspired me to make an entire video about tracks similar to it. The visual references, the sound effects, and the remix to the main theme makes this course so special. There is even a wing cloud shortcut to end things off. It is hard to do better than this. Number 5, GCN DK Mountain. I really enjoyed getting to play this one again. This version of DK Mountain not only looks amazing, but also manages to feel really good. The ramps have been removed so you can trick off the mountain, and they kept the bridge. They did miss another opportunity with the trickable sections, but it was like this in Double Dash and it's still good regardless. Number 4, DS Waluigi Pinball. It saddens me that we are in a day and age where I must apologize for liking Waluigi Pinball, but I'm sorry. This will forever be one of my favorite tracks in Mario Kart, and this remake doesn't really screw too much up. The colors are more vibrant and it has a bit more life. Number 3, Wii Mushroom Gorge. I don't know why this version of Mushroom Gorge specifically is so fun to me, but it is certainly one of my favorite tracks in this whole game. If I had to nitpick one thing, it would be the mushroom placement in the cave for 200cc, but that's it. Everything good about the track is still here, and the gap jump is more accessible so you don't have to be a pro player to make a shortcut work. Number 2, 3DS Rainbow Road. This decision was legitimately so hard to make, however this is just how the cookie crumbled. This remake in general should get a lot more appreciation instead of hate for not being a one-to-one remake of Mario Kart 7's version. The music is amazing as expected, and they didn't miss a beat in the transition to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. However, it isn't number 1, so let's head there now. Number 1, Wii Rainbow Road. I'm not gonna act like this was hands down the best course in the Booster Course Pass, because everyone will have a different opinion, but this is ultimately what I decided to go with. When I played this remake of Rainbow Road for the first time, I felt energized, in my element, and filled with joy. I simply never get that feeling in a solo session of Mario Kart. And call me nostalgic, but they added back all of the great details from the original, as well as simplifying a shortcut. I am aware that it's not as difficult as before, but I had accepted that it it wouldn't be when it made the transition, and despite this it feels really good to play in this game. Anyways, that's my list. If we did math to rank each wave, the winner would be Wave 6 with an average of 21 out of 48, and Wave 1 certainly came up short with a score of 35 out of 48, with Waves 4 and 2 at 24 out of 48, combined with Wave 3 and 5 as a close second and third with 22 out of 48 falling in between them. They were legitimately all within 2 of each other except for Wave 1, which wasn't even close. As for which game got the best remakes, it is Mario Kart Double Dash actually, with an average of 10 out of 48. They didn't have very many GCN tracks in the DLC, but when they added one, it was a good one. Next in line are Mario Kart Wii with 15 out of 48, followed by the new tracks at 18 out of 48, and Mario Kart DS with 19 out of 48, then Mario Kart 64 with 20 out of 48, 3DS with 25 out of 48, SNES with 30 out of 48, and Tour at 31 out of 48, with GBA being done so dirty with a score of 39 out of 48. It is interesting to see how some games did great because of the selection, meanwhile others thrived off of remakes, and the same for the negatives. And guys, that's all for me today. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Have a good one.